Well, first of all, it's wonderful to join Gracelin for this conversation. It's also great to be able to speak remotely with friends at IMARC. I'm sad that I can't be there personally, but I want you to understand how strongly my team in the State Department's Energy Bureau is focused on our alliance with Australia. As somebody who spent a big chunk of my professional career working in and on the Asia-Pacific region, Australia has always loomed very large. But that is more true than ever over the past 2 years that I've been responsible for leading the State Department's energy diplomacy. Australia is, of course, a superpower when it comes to issues of energy, and especially energy minerals. It is one of the world's largest producers of lithium. It's a major source of traditional energy going into global markets, especially in Asia. And in particular, it has been a uniquely strong partner with the United States under the leadership of President Biden and Prime Minister Albanese, as we seek simultaneously to accelerate the energy transition, but also build our energy security. I had an opportunity to appreciate this even more in the spring, or I guess in your fall, when I traveled to Western Australia and Perth. It was incredibly impressive for me to see the overwhelming role that the extractive industries, and especially the mining industry, plays in the Western Australia economy, to meet with leaders of your globally competitive mining companies, but also to see the innovation that's happening with Australian companies who are working to lower the carbon intensity of their production. All the innovation that's being led by companies like Fortescue, BHP, Rio Tinto, looking at how to lower the energy requirements of mineral extraction and processing, innovation in areas like clean hydrogen, the decarbonization of the large amounts of materials that have to be moved to support the extraction of energy minerals. I'll always remember listening to Andrew Forrest talking about his infinity train and the concept of developing an electric-powered locomotive that would deliver iron ore from the mine face to ports with essentially zero net energy requirement by capturing the latent energy of descending to sea level and then using the storage of that energy to carry the locomotive back up to the mine face. That's exactly the kind of innovation that I know Australian companies are going to be principal partners for the United States with. And of course, we have some of the largest foreign investment in Australia by American companies working in the energy space. But I also have a clear sense, in part because Ambassador Rudd has been very, very vocal on this issue here in Washington, D.C., of how the Australian mineral economy has been rocked by the distortions that are produced in particular by China's overproduction of key minerals like lithium and nickel, by the lack of transparency in pricing, and by the reality that as we look out to the future, as Gracelin talked about, the world is going to need massively increased quantities of cobalt, lithium, nickel, zinc, copper, and rare earths in order to meet our energy transition goals. But we want to do so in a way that doesn't enhance China's ability to manipulate markets and to undermine our national security, or for that matter, the national security of our allies. So I will be very interested to hear some of the takeaways from this year's IMARC at a particularly central moment in the conversation about the nexus between energy minerals and energy security. I will also be keen to see the recommendations that emerge on these issues of pricing. The Biden administration has committed through our Critical Minerals Task Force, led on the Australian side by Minister King, to having a very intense collaborative partnership with our Australian allies on these issues. As in so many aspects of the U.S.-Australian relationship, we enjoy a uniquely strong set of ties, but we're also working together across the Indo-Pacific region, through the Quad, through our work with key allies in Asia, like Japan, like Korea, the investments that happen in both directions. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us. I'm very proud of what we've established with my team and our colleagues at DQ and DFAT through the U.S.-Australia Energy Security Dialogue. But I also recognize that at the end of the day, the proof of our success is going to be what our companies are able to do together. So I wish you the very best for your conversations there in Australia and look forward to teasing out some of these issues with Gracelin over the next couple of minutes.